Disney Tips with Rob and Christine. Ba-da-ba-da. So today on Disney Tips, we have just a bunch of random tips. I don't think there's a theme for this one. And as always, I'm going to let you kick it off, Christine, because I like your tip.
Okay. So when you get to Disney, you often think, I'm going to spend a lot of money on food, right? But
Always.
You're right. And, you know, that's great. Disney food can be awesome. The theming's cool. Some of the restaurants are really nice. But, you know, when you're thinking about what you're going to eat back in your hotel, maybe you don't feel like going to the food court all the time. So one thing that you can do is order groceries to your hotel room. Now, this is even better if you're staying, you know, at a place like, the Wilderness Cabins that has a kitchen. But as long as you have a room that has like a mini fridge and you got, you know, a little space on the desk for some fruit or something, you can definitely take advantage of the fact that there are Orlando-based companies that will ship you your govroceries. The one that Rob and I know well is gardengrocer.com. There's probably other options out there as well. But you can
we do know of another option. Wait, I just remembered. Do you not remember our last trip when we had pizza delivered to our hotel because we were hungry at a point where it was too late and all of the stuff on property was closed? We got like Domino's, weren't you? You remember that?
Yeah. That's totally the same thing. But it's not.
So if you don't want boring groceries and you'd rather have pizza, you could also, there are pizza places that will deliver to property resorts.
This is true, but I don't condone them because I'm from New York and New York pizza's better. But anyway.
Listen, beggars can't be choosers when it's 10:30 at night and you need pizza. You just need someone to za you. Then you'll take a za from Domino's.
This is true. Anyway, back on track. You can actually order your groceries prior to your trip. And whether it's, you know, a couple of days before, and let them know what day you actually want it delivered. So you don't have to worry about rushing onto a computer when you first check in to try to get food there, because nobody wants to do that. You want to go right to the parks. So you can sit at home, figure out what you want, you know, everything together from breakfast. You can get your cereal and milk to stuff to make sandwiches to, yes, even alcohol if you are 21 years
of age
or older. And you can get anything you can really think of. Granted, you might not get a whole week's worth of groceries, but it can be really nice if you just want to get some cereal and milk because maybe you don't want to spend $10 on breakfast, or maybe you really like to just run out the door and that's a lot quicker for you. So I really like the flexibility of being able to do that.
That's what, I mean, my parents did when we were younger. Is it wasn't like we did it all the time, but sometimes, you know, you just get some cold cuts and bread and you make sandwiches, and it's a good way to save money, and you're eating and maybe you're relaxing. If you're listening to our previous tips, you're relaxing at the resort during lunchtime. But it's totally a great option, and it's a great money saving tip out there. So my tips this week are about minimalism. I am not somebody who likes to carry a bunch of stuff around. This tip does not really apply to the family on the go. You know, I always see these threads where it's like, you know, I'm bringing my 4 kids and it's our whole family. And it's like, forget it. You have to bring, like, you're gearing up like you're a soldier. Like you're just bringing gear packs. But for me, or when you're going like with friends or something, you don't need to carry a whole lot, and I found little ways to carry even less. And one of them that I thought was very clever is they sell cell phone cases that sort of double as card holders. And so what I did is I picked up, like, it was like an iPhone case that had like a little slot in it to put in like 2 or 3 cards. And all I brought with me was my ID in case of an emergency, a credit card in case of an emergency, and my room key, which I guess today you wouldn't even need to do that because you get the My Magic Plus band. And that's it. The phone acts as a camera. It acts as a means of, you know, communicating, getting in touch with people. If, you know, you're listening to Rob and Christine's previous tips, you're going back to the hotel during the afternoon anyway, so you could charge it up. And so all I ever had to carry around was that one phone, and that made it a lot easier. Now, another tip in that same vein is I also had picked up one of these plastic collapsible water bottles that I would also just put in the other pocket. And that's a good way to save money because there are water fountains around. And, you know, that's just a good way to cut down on something that you should be having a lot of, which is water, because you're out and you're on your feet for, 10, 12 hours a day at points, walking around in Florida heat. But you don't have to go ahead and, spend I don't know, what is it now? $15, $25 for a bottle of water at Disney?
Oh yeah, totally, totally.
$32.50. And
I hear
instead,
it's going up to 45 next year.
yeah, it's always tries to be at least $2 more than the price of crude oil in the United States for a barrel. But it's a good way to save money, especially if you are traveling. That's a good one to have if you are traveling with a family and you do need, to keep 3 or 4 kids hydrated and, your spouse, and just carrying a couple of those around could be a big money saver. And then the third one, I totally forget. But I promise it was a good one. Wait, what was it? Oh, right. I wanted to insert this one. It was more of an extension of our very first tip, which was to take a midday break at the resort or just out of the parks to relax for a bit. And that's to sort of expand it on a larger scale to say, take a midweek break. If you're on like a longer trip, it's really, really helpful to take just like, it doesn't even have to be a full day. Take like half a day halfway through your trip to just spend it at the resort, at the pool, or just wandering around the other resorts, shopping, things like that. Just to not be on like this very like rushed get from ride to ride. You do that 5 days in a row and it can be extremely taxing, not only physically but mentally. So it's always good to throw in some R&R time, which sounds weird to say that you need R&R time on a vacation, but as I think most people know, a Disney vacation is not the sort of same vacation as, your typical.
As my mother always put it when we came back, I need a vacation from my vacation.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
we were just so tired that she was like, "Wait, I need like a few days off to do
It's
nothing."
super fun, but super hectic and taxing, especially if you're not like, I feel like we're lucky because we live in New York. It's a pedestrian city, so we're walking everywhere all the time. But, my family is in Florida now. They got so used to driving everywhere that the idea of walking around the parks all day long for days in a row is just a lot. So there you have it. A bunch of tips. Good ones, I think. I think you should follow all of them. You should follow all our tips. I think you'll just have the best, scientifically the best trip at Disney if you follow our tips. We should put this in a book.
We should.
Not like a regular book, like a scroll. I think a scroll would make it more like official.
Handwritten calligraphy.
Right. And it's just, we only like maybe 5 copies. Probably the best.
Like that.
Yes.
And then we have to bury them in various locations.
Okay, this is a good plan. Thank you all for watching. If you have a tip you would like to share, feel free to leave it in the comments below, or if you have a certain topic you'd like us to impart our deep and scroll-bound wisdom to, also feel free to leave it in the comments below. You could reach me on Twitter at RobPlays. You can reach Christine on Twitter at BigBruinEvil, and you can let us know directly. I want to thank you all for watching. Have a great week, everybody, and I'll see you next time for the next episode of Disney Tips with Rob and Christine. No, you've got to do the end.
Boop, boop.
Perfect.